Look. It was only a few months ago where everything we knew about Silksong was so minimal and out of context that it was just too hard to accurately predict anything about the game. But one thing we did have was a few character sprites. Sprites that YouTubers like myself used in countless videos, mainly Sherma. But there was one set of characters that stole my heart way before I was ever properly introduced to them. Garmond and Zaza, from the moment I saw them, won me over. I knew they were going to be my favorite characters in the game, but I had no idea how much they would impact me. The description of Garmond and Zaza reads, vigorous old knight and their noble companion, working together to see their lands cut free from haunted madness. They too seek the specter at the hauntings, though I fear that foe would pose a challenge beyond their mortal limits. When I first saw them in Greymoor, in an unreachable room, I did everything I could to find them.
Oh, hola! Oh, hola!
That's fine.
Luckily, I had previously already ran into Moorwing and ran out, and eventually got the dialogue where they mentioned the beast down below. I didn't think much of it at the time. When I finally got the courage to go back to Moorwing, I seemed to have run into my two besties again, and they offered to help. How the hell could I possibly resist that? And so I said, hell yeah, let's go, buddy. Instantly, I started sweating. Do you guys remember a certain NPC who joins us in Hollow Knight? Remember how tragic it was to have to lose them, even though it's basically what they desired at that point in life, after losing someone very close to them? And even if you save them, they just end up leaving anyway because the sadness probably overcomes them. Rest in peace, Clock. You will always be remembered. I thought for sure this was going to be the same fate for Garmond and Zaza at this exact moment, and I said, Team Cherry, whatever you do, don't you dare take away my besties. Take this guy instead. Take this simp instead. Hell, I'll even sacrifice Shirt. But look, we made it through Moorwing, and my boys were cheering. I was so excited that they lived through the battle that I accidentally told them to join. I easily could have handled it on my own, but thank God Team Cherry did not kill off my boys.
Oh, Torora Tanen.
Before making it to the Citadel, I was very regrettably sacrificing myself and all of my rosaries trying to navigate a little place called Sinner's Road. And that was one of the worst times of my life in Silksong, to be honest. I even freed this guy from a prison cell, but like he didn't care at all. In fact, he didn't even want to leave. Like I wasn't quite sure what his deal was yet. But after a few hours of struggling, I made it to a part in Sinner's Road, and I saw my boys again up there. And they had slayed one of those roach master things. I was so proud of them, but low-key, I was scared too because Sinner's Road is terrible. Like they need to get out of there immediately. Garmond mentioned his delicate whiskers were overcome with the evil stench, and I wished him well on his journey. Him and Zaza seemed very motivated to reach the Citadel, and as was I, so I moved on. It wasn't until I reached the Citadel that I saw them again. Plus, there's no other interactions.
Retire! Haha! Ah, solamente.
But these boys are fighters, so of course I stumbled into them in a room and they were just wrecking the place up. The boys are so determined they don't even mind looting any rosaries. They're just in it to avenge their village. They're not in it for the money. I really wish there was some clue to where Garmond and Zaza came from. Maybe there is some that went past me. If you guys know anything, please do not hesitate to let me know. Are there any connections to like anyone in Hollow Nest? Are there any rumored areas in Farloom or the outskirts? Like, I wonder if any of those places in the cradle could possibly be referencing where Garmond and Zaza were from. But eventually you find them in Songclave. And before I go on, I have to say that I was on my 3rd playthrough when I found out that there was a Garmond and Zaza duel above the Whispering Vaults. And it was already too late. I have not experienced high halls with Chakra or Garmond. It makes me sad, to be honest. My 4th playthrough was a speed run, and I got locked out of it there too. One day, I will finally get to battle the legendary Garmond and Zaza. But anyway, we're in Songclave now, and this is where things start to make sense, because as Songclave has developed slightly, there's now a village with a real need for protectors like Garmond. Although, if you ask me, I secretly wish they never made it to the Citadel and somehow found peace in Belheart. They could have freed the city from the Widow's haunting and saved a whole new village on their own and stayed there as their protector. But ultimately, Chakra fills that role eventually. And Songclave deserves someone like Garmond as well. There is still bugs up there that need protecting. By the time we eventually make it to Grandma Silk, Garmond and Zaza are resting in Songclave. And ultimately, this is when some shady characters give us an idea of how to take out Grandma Silk for good. It does seem like a good idea at the time, but the havoc it would wreak on Farloom makes me think that there had to have been another way. At this point, we're now in Act 3, and everything around us is falling apart. But as you make your way through the Citadel, you see our noble heroes pressing on and slaying the creatures, although the more you run into them, the more tired they do seem. At the time, I'm thinking, man, these guys deserve a rest. We need to end the void now. So I'm beelining through Act 3, trying to get to the bottom of all this, and eventually I stop by Belheart. And there's a quest on the board. Hero's Call. It's said that there was a distressed bug in need of help at the Blasted Step. I had no idea what it was at the time. When I arrived at the Blasted Steps, I noticed a little bug in the corner and ran over to him, and he ran out of the room. As I chased him, I was just so confused. There's never been a point like this in the game where you just follow someone through different rooms. There's only the one little bug from Shellwood that likes to travel around. He's interesting. But then I finally make it to the room where Lucky was, and he was already dead long before I made it there for this quest. And before I could even realize, a boss scream started, and it was Lost Garmond. Never in my life has a video game shaken my core like this boss fight did. I had no idea that it was Zaza who needed help. Just the thought of him being distressed makes me want to cry again right now, but I never saw Zaza away from Garmond, so I didn't even recognize him at first. And to make things worse, Garmond just stomped the hell out of me in this fight. To be real, I was so emotional. Like, when I see Garmond and Zaza, I personally see me and my puppy Banana. And I know that this was the end of their journey together, so it just crushed me so much that I put the game down. I just had to go and walk Banana, and I just lay with him that night. I was walking around my neighborhood with a red-ass face, trying to hold back tears. I didn't pick Silksong up back for a whole other day. But then, I made it my life mission to help Zaza. He deserved better. Garmond kept stomping me, though. The void draining your silk is terrible. And I think that, like, my emotions just get the best of me in this fight that prevent me from, like, learning the fight in general. This fight is so hard to me. I don't understand it. But eventually we helped free him from this awful place he was in right now. And if you thought your heart wasn't broken enough from losing Garmond, the moment you see Zaza walk over to Garmond and lay there, along with the Needle-in dialogue, you will feel your heart shatter 1,000 times more. No matter what I did or how many times I went back to that awful room, Zaza would just be sitting there. And yes, like you, I would kill for there to be a way for Hornet to take in Zaza. She has a perfectly good bell home with a nice jacuzzi, and he could have the time of his life there, but he presumably spent his entire life with Garmond, and that bond that they formed is so strong that he doesn't want to live a life without Garmond. And it hurts a lot, but we have to accept that. And if that's hard for you guys to accept, let's just go over his last needle in dialogue. Old bug, old friend, brave to the end, so strong, so kind. Let's meet back home. Thank you. God, I have tears again just writing the script. Oh my God. R.I.P. Garmond. Because of you and Zaza, we made it to the Citadel. Because of you and Zaza, we were able to create a new village in Songclave and give life to bugs that never stood a chance. Because of you, we were able to free them of Grandma Silk. You will never be forgotten, Garmond. May you finally get the rest you deserve. Look, thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. If you love Garmond and Zaza like me, like this video, subscribe, drop some hype points, do whatever you can, because this is a Garmond and Zaza stan channel from here on out. I hope you all are doing well, and I look forward to talking to you again on another video. See ya. Bye.